Welcome back to video number 4. Again, I'm Jimbyrd, and I'm making a series of videotapes on the technology essentials for everyday living. The first thing I reminded you of in video 1 is anytime you want to know anything, YouTube. You can go there and find out the details of anything. And another thing I said was backup. So hopefully every video I'm going to try to instill those two things in your mind. This video number 4 is on the internet, and the sub area that I'm talking about will be Wi-Fi and wired. Now, if you only have one computer, you could have a modem, and then you could have a category 5 cable or an Ethernet cable go to your computer, and you're all set up and ready to go. If you had, let's say, 3 or 4 computers and you wanted them to all be wired, in that case you'd have to put a router in between the computers. You'd have to go from the modem with a wire, the Ethernet cable, let's call it, to the router, and then the router has typically 4 ports for 4 wired computers to be hooked to it. And you could do that. Then also you could have Wi-Fi available, and let's say you had 10 computers and phones and tablets and laptops or whatever. All of these things could be hooked to the internet, a maximum of 4 through the wire ports of the router, and the others would be all wireless. Now, today, most people don't care to mess with wires. Even with the speakers, for example, your kids probably love those wireless Bluetooth speakers, even though it might cost you a fortune for the batteries if they're just sitting outside by the pool in case you're lucky enough to have one. Now, for Wi-Fi, it's important to locate that transmitter, or a router is a radio frequency transmitter receiver, and you need to get information from the internet, and you need to send information to the internet in order to find out what you're trying to buy or the information that you're trying to look up. So ideally, a router should be in the center of your house, or at least close to where you use it. And if you don't have that, you need to get a more expensive high-powered router, perhaps, or you need to buy Wi-Fi extenders, which are really little routers that are used as repeaters, if you will, that just plug into an outlet someplace. And some of them work maybe quite well, and some of them may not. With a router using Wi-Fi, it's important to know that today the manufacturers have gone to version numbers now, and the latest one is called a version 6, which is actually an 802.11 AX. The old method of denoting routers or naming them was 802.11 A and 802.11 B and 802.11 G and 802.11 N and 802.11 AC, and now the latest is 802.11 AX, which is now known as version 6. Now the important thing to know about routers is most of them today are dual band. And when I say dual band, you need to be careful about what type of dual band, because some are selectable dual band and others are simultaneous dual band. So what's the difference? A selectable dual band is you can either select 2.4 gigahertz frequency or you can select 5.0 gigahertz frequency. Now, most of your devices that you would use, tablets, laptops, phones, all will work on 2.4 gigabyte frequencies. However, some of the newer devices will work on 5 gigabytes. Now, if you have a selectable router and choose 5 gigahertz, that could be a problem because you probably have a lot of legacy type things around the house, tablets, phones, older computers that won't work on 5 gigahertz. So in that case, you'd have to select 2.4 and go with that. Now 5 gigahertz is newer and there's less things using that frequency. So if you can use that frequency, you're probably going to get better speeds for watching movies and particularly playing games. However, if you look around and you need to be very detailed in the questions that you ask or in your research, if you get a simultaneous router which will work on 2.4 and 5 at the same time, they will have two different system IDs. In other words, they're broadcasting, let's say, as jimbyrd 2.4 and jimbyrd 5.0. That's what maybe I would name them, and then I'd have a password for each one of them, and I would sign on to each one of those. Most of you don't do that, but I just want you to know that it's there. And if you get into this, again, remember I said YouTube, 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 and if you want to get into the detail or walk into the weeds, as I like to say, then you need to go to YouTube and ask these very specific type questions and watch these detailed videos, and someone will walk you through what you need to know. That pretty much wraps up what I wanted to say for this video number 4. So hope to see you in video number 5. Over and out.